Hey guys, and welcome to Day to Day Scott, where I bring you daily content on entrepreneurship and personal growth. 6 days a week, not 7, so Sunday off for the family, but 6 days a week I'll bring you content. And how I bring you that content is I bring you my learnings from each day. So it's like a blog. So I started a company last month, and as an entrepreneur yourself or someone who's hungry for personal growth, you'll know how much we learn each day and how much we want to learn each day. So all I'm doing is simply curating my learning into content that'll be of value to you, so you can learn from what I've learned each day. So you can learn quicker, you learn from my successes as well as my failures, because we're going to learn more from my failures, and we can learn together and just build up a community of entrepreneurs that feel confident to be transparent with each other in their businesses, so we can learn from each other, just help each other achieve our successes. And that's why you're going to love this channel. Is what's so unique about it is that I'm where I believe most of us are, and that's why you're going to resonate with me, is that I'm in the first few years of business, and that's where I believe most of us are, rather than being in the stardom of 10 years in business. I believe most of us are in the startup, and that's where I'm going to resonate with you on, and I'm going to be fully transparent in all my blogs through emotion as well as just general learning, just every aspect you'll see. Sometimes I'll reach out to you for support, and sometimes I'll be giving you information for support. So either way, it's a really engaging platform, and that's what I aim to make it. Now this one is a very serious blog, and I was kind of iffy about doing it on a Monday just because it's a bit depressing, as it says in the title, but I thought as having experiences with it, and I just want to open people's eyes to the truth of it, because I think there's a very sort of sexy lifestyle is communicated online with entrepreneurship, and I just want to lay a few truths on some aspects on entrepreneurship. So stay tuned. It's a really fascinating one, this one, and a very serious one that you should definitely listen to. If you haven't necessarily got into business, it's definitely an interesting one to learn. Okay, so let's get into it, guys. I'll see you in a minute. Hey guys, and welcome back. So it's daily blog 54, which is awesome. So yeah, it's the truth about entrepreneurial depression. So first of all, as a bit of a disclaimer, I'm happy. I'm very happy where I am. I've got lots of exciting things going on this week. Tomorrow's probably my most exciting day because got a big Christmas event on tomorrow, as well as meeting up with a lot of the team I've met up before. So I'm really having a fun time at the moment. So this isn't any call out for help or anything. I just want to lay that out prior to going through the video. All this is basically using my own experiences as well as using facts and data to just open people's eyes to the truth about other aspects of starting up a business that people might not be necessarily aware of, and I don't believe are communicated very heavily online, because you see so much from the big influencers, and I love these influencers like Gary Vee, Peter Vu, Tony Robbins, who are great influencers, but you tend to just see the sexy stuff. And what I mean by that is that might sound a bit weird to some of you, but that's how a lot of people explain stuff in business, is the sexy lifestyle, the sexy entrepreneur, in the respect that you see all the flashy things. At the end of the day, you see what you want to see. You follow Gary Vee for your own reasons, because he's a no shit guy, or he's cool because he's got big, or like Grant Cardone, he's got the big cars and he's got this. You want those things. That's the shiny things is what interests you, and that's normal. Like the shiny things interest me as well, but I just want I believe that there'll be different categories of people. There'll be some people that'll be aware of that, but also aware that business isn't all happy and daisies, but there'll be another percentage of people that do believe that, and believe that it's not as hard as people make it out to be. So I just want to lay a few truth bombs and just sort of open people's eyes who are both in business and haven't started business, so they can just have a wider understanding of the truth about entrepreneurial depression, and how it can affect them in going through business. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to be that person who says it won't happen to me, because the second you say that, it happens to you. So, and everyone says that to everything down there, like a hurricane's going to hit you or whatever. You say, oh yeah, but that won't happen to me. 3 weeks later it hits you. So probably that'll happen in America, maybe not in the UK, but anyway, try just to explain it. So let's put some things into perspective first with some facts. So the Business Insider, an article in the Business Insider 2015, Forbes also referenced this, so I believe it's quite viable, and I'll just quote verbatim. According to the article, only 7% of the general population report suffering from depression, okay, but a whopping 30% of founders report dealing with its effects. So over 30% of startups, it's saying that deal with the effects of depression, and that's only what's reported. I'm sure it's even more than that. So if we're looking at a minimum 30%, now let's go on to how many startups roughly on average are start each year. So going to CFE's report, business formation reached a record high in 2016, with more than 650,000 new businesses having started in the UK, according to the Centre for Entrepreneur CFE analysis of the latest Companies House data. So one, that's awesome. Loads of people starting business. I'm really happy to see that. It really motivates me, inspires me to see that, because a lot of people who are just grabbing it and going for it, which is awesome to see. And I hope you are one of them and doing fantastically. But the scary reality of that is now we have to look at the 30% of that. So in 2016, what that's saying to us is that roughly 195,000 people / businesses would have suffered from the effects of depression. So that's a lot of people when you put it in perspective, and that's each year. Again, these are averages, it's not exact, but I mean, it gives you a pretty good understanding of the seriousness of depression. So why we're talking about this, one, I like to give a bit of background, a bit of fact to the video prior to going forward, but just to sort of give you some knowledge to it, and it helps me as well understand it further, is it's very true. That opens your eyes to how true it is in startups, and how real it is, and how very likely, I don't want to say you will, but very likely you will come across it at some point. I believe everyone who starts a business at some point will be depressed. It's pretty much a given. It's part of the life. You're not going to be happy all the time. It's like you're not happy all the time in life. It's just like business. You're not going to be happy all the time, because one, business becomes your life, and two, not everything's going to go right. There's going to be a lot of failure, but obviously we learn from that. It's a great thing, but it's not always going to go right. Apologies about the dog. She loves barking. So how does this... And I'm back. Sorry about that. I just had to shut the dog up because she was annoying and really just barking off. But she stopped now. I'm going to have to edit the video. Oh well. So I've given you the reality, and now how does it relate to me? So you'll know if you watch my videos that I struggle with anxiety anyway. So I struggle with anxiety, and I have done for many years. And I'm sure some of you may as well. How did I get through that? So I've pretty much... It's not ever gone, but I manage it through meditation, mentoring by others, and both myself, and fitness. I believe those are the three things that got me through anxiety, through my worst times of panic attacks. And now I know I can, because I understand that it is anxiety, that now I know all the tell signs and how to bring myself down. So it's not gone, but I know how to deal with it when it comes, which is unbelievably... makes me more comfortable, because at first I didn't understand what it was, and it used to really throw me off. So, and I'll go into coping with these things a bit further. I'm just going to give you why it relates to me first. So I will give you my coping mechanism for depression. So my relation with, obviously I've got anxiety, and that can feed into depression quite heavily. And the relationship with depression is that I'm a happy guy. I love business, I love my life, I love my friends, I love my family. But there are everyone, I think I'm reasonably normal when it comes to being depressed. Everyone has their good times and their bad times. I'd find probably it comes in waves. I know that sounds weird, but that's probably the best way to explain it, is that mine is waves of depression. So I can be, obviously you can be generally just pissed off on the odd day, yeah, that's happened, that's not depression, but I mean generally being just completely sucked down, not wanting to do anything, that's what I mean by when I say depression. And those times tend to happen, I don't know, once every few months, I would say. So once every few months, I'll just be I'd feel like there's no reason to it. There probably is, but I'll feel like there's no reason to it. But I'll just be down for at least a day, sometimes a few days, sometimes a week. I'll just feel a bit miffed. I'll just be getting woke, but I just won't really feel with it. I just don't really feel. One, I don't feel myself. I don't really feel like I'm in my own feet. Like I just feel like I'm away of the fray. I just become a zombie for however long it is. Like I just do what I'm supposed to do, but I'm just not in a great mood. And the last time it hit was actually quite recently, and you probably saw this from my videos, because it's when my videos started getting a little ropey in regards to uploading them, and I just seemed to be more annoyed on them, which you probably would have noticed. And that was on the middle 2 weeks of November, so I think like 13th and 20th of November. So it lasted about a week to 2 weeks, which is weird because the start of November was amazing for me. I would go and say it was probably one of the best start, if not the best start to any month I've ever had. Yeah, I would say it is, because it was just amazing. As you know, I ran my first ever TV ad shoot. I ran my first ever event in one of the most prestigious bars in Manchester with nearly with over 50 people there. It was an amazing week, and there was so many opportunities. I got new clients. It was unreal. It was unreal. And I was just like, oh my God, this is going so well. But the 2 weeks after that, I, for whatever reason, felt really down and really crap and really depressed. The only two things I can look at that to being is, one, I couldn't do fitness because I believe I'd injured myself or something. There was a reason I couldn't do fitness. I can't quite remember. It was probably an injury, but there was a reason, but I couldn't do much fitness. So, and that's usually my biggest depression/stress killer. I just hit the mic, sorry. That's usually the best thing I find that deals with depression and stress. So one, that's gone. So my number one tool to deal with it was very heavily reduced. And number two, the thing that increases it was workload, and my workload increased hugely because of new clients, because of new opportunities, which again, all great things. But I think it was just that adjustment period of just getting used to the next level of my business. I think that's what it was, is that lack of fitness, which is my number one tool to deal with, and the increase of workload, which is going to obviously increase my stress levels, and not understanding how to deal with that increased workload and to maintain my quality. I think it was just a transitional period in my next level of business, and I think that's a really key thing to take away from this. And it's something actually Steve Bartlett said in his podcast. He said, I can't think of the verbatim quote. I think I mentioned it before. It's a really interesting quote. Well, I can't think of to verbatim the quote, but basically what he was saying is that he said the times where you're the most down and the most depressed and just feel like nothing's going your way are the times where you're in your transitional period. Those are the times that you'll look back at and be like, I am who I am today because of that. And that really helped me when I heard that, like really helped me, because I thought when I was coming to the end, it was like, that's so true. Like even though it's been really tough these 2 weeks, I'll look back at this and be like, that made me a part of who I am today. I've now understood how to deal with that, whatever that issue was of increased work, dealing with new clients and just dealing. So I'm now mentally stronger. I'm stronger in business, my work, productivity, my mental fitness. I'm a lot stronger. So don't picture the depression period as, oh, this sucks, screw life. And there will be times where it will be that. I appreciate that. But see it as a transitional period to be an even better you. Because at the end of the day, you will come out of it. And when you do, you're going to be 10 times stronger, because you're going to look back and you're going to learn from it. Like I said, you learn from failure, you'll learn from the sad times. So that's what really, really helped me get through it, is looking at it as a transitional period to my next level. And that really did put it into perspective for me. So that's how it relates to me. I can already tell this video is going to be a long one. It's 40 minutes. Wow, this is going to probably be like a half-hour video. I'm not going to rush it, just because like it's a very genuine video. It's quite a hard video to do, and I want to be serious with it, and I want to really lay down all the information for you so you can get it and be aware of the seriousness of it. So that was how it related to me. Now, how do I get over it is the next one. So how do you actually get over it? So like I said, my number one is fitness. I believe that is my number one thing to get over it. I think it's even just the fact of being outside. I'm sure fitness inside is powerful as well, but I mean, for me, just being outside and just being glued out of reality really helps. So fitness outside will really help, and just general fitness, that's fine, but just do some sort of fitness. But I personally find doing it outside is really powerful. So maybe even just going for a 10-minute walk, just clearing your head, just putting some music in, or just listening to nature. It really, you'd be surprised. And I tend to have some of my best thoughts on my run, because my head is so clear. I tend to have some really killer thoughts that I go, oh yeah, I should implement that. And it's actually been some really business changing thoughts I've had on my own. So you're gonna get a lot of enlightenment through exercise, I believe, as well, because it lets you think more openly, I believe. I don't know, I've not done much research in it, but that's what I find for me anyway. So fitness is my number one tool to deal with depression. And I was informed that apparently doing fitness, specifically cardio, does release, I think it's endorphins, or it does release endorphins into you, therefore making you happier. I remember being told that by a doctor, so I believe it's true. Next one is pushing myself to go to events. So I go to a lot of networking events, and obviously in that 2-week period I wasn't feeling up to it. I didn't want to go to events. I ended up having to go to two. One I was running, and another one I could have chosen not to go to because it's just a monthly meetup I go to, but I chose to, and it really helped me as well. So just pushing yourself to carry on and go to events, and basically just being with people, even spending quality time with your family or friends, I think is really powerful as well. It's just even talking to someone. You don't have to talk to them specifically about what you're struggling with, but you could just genuinely have a chat, and you'd be surprised how much it just lays your shoulders back for 5 minutes, and you'd be surprised how much it helps. Another one on that is just taking a day off. I find taking a day off is another really powerful one. As you run your own business, you have the authority to do that. Obviously you have to accept the lost business of that day, or whether it affects you. You may have to find a way that you can get around. Running social media is a little easier for me, because as long as I have stuff scheduled, I can quite strategically put meetings and calls on different days and just schedule social media, so I can do it quite easily, whereas you might be a bit more difficult. But just find a way we can take a day off, or even half a day, whatever, just finish early maybe, and just have you day really just chill in the bath, have some nice food, just chill out, have some beers. Don't get drunk though, obviously. You don't want to go to alcohol when it comes to depression. Don't condone that. Another one was now this is one that some of you may find funny at start, but it really helps me, is listening to motivational videos. Now you'd be surprised how powerful they are, especially when you combine it with repeating over your actual goals and vision. So like I said in one of the videos about having your goals and vision written down, you should have at least of your 3 long-term goals and sort of why you're doing it, and I have it written down on a piece of paper, and just reading that out to you whilst listening to a 10-minute motivational video. There's some really good ones on YouTube that obviously have the music with that really do pump you up, and I think you'd be shocked of how much it'll hit you, especially when you make it more personal and actually read the goals and vision that are yours, and then they're speaking to you through the general motivational stuff. I think you'd be surprised of how much it flickers in your heart and your brain, and that really helps me. You might even get a bit emotional, but yeah, that really helps me grind through when I'm really trying to grit through something. That helps me. One further that is positive affirmation. You know, I'm a big advocate for this. I recently did a crazy video on my most vivid experience of positive affirmation. It was unbelievable. Go watch it. It was really, I would go as far as saying, life-changing, really incredible in realizing the power of positive affirmation through my fitness. But yeah, doing positive affirmation. Another one, meditation. Again, if you're going to do meditation, I've said in many videos, give it time. You will find the first few times it might not necessarily work the way you think it's going to, and it's because you just have to settle into it, and the first few times it's going to be weird. You're not going to get it, just like me. It's a weird thing to just sit there and not think, because you can't. just give it a go, but give it time is what I say when you do meditation. Give it time, because the first few times will just feel useless. But after a week of doing it, even just doing 10-minute meditations each day, trust me, it'll be this really powerful. I find that meditation is best for anxiety personally, because it really just calms down. If you struggle with anxiety or know anything about it, it really gets your heart going, that fight or flight. Really, you're really on edge. So I really find meditation helps with anxiety side of things, really. Another one is that time management tip I mentioned the other day, my pro time management tip of just blocking out time to finish stuff, because I find a lot of the times you'll be depressed, annoyed, because you're not completing tasks you want to complete. So instead of, like I said, having a list, instead block out time. So 11 till 12 is social media, nothing else. 5 till 6 is reading, nothing else. You're blocking out time, and nothing but that one thing happens in that time, and that gives you the confidence and happiness that you know that task is going to be completed. And once you complete it, it's just going to be a huge weight off your shoulders, because obviously you got the tasks that you've been wanting to get completed for so long, and there's always those tasks that will find themselves staying on that to-do list for weeks and sometimes months on end. I know I've dealt with that. So I felt like I've gone on a lot here, but I feel like it's all needed. Because I'm trying to give you as much value as possible. Another one in regards to, I'm going to do one more just because I know I struggle with this a lot. So when you do have the period of time where you do feel crap, you feel depressed and just can't be arsed, I find it very hard to do work, because, and a good quote to put this into understanding, so you understand what I'm going to go on about, is what you focus on will become your reality. And when you're depressed and when you're annoyed, everything's going to be annoying to you. So suddenly your emails are taking too long to upload, to load up. Suddenly your websites are taking too long to load. Suddenly people are taking too long to reply to. Everything just you see everything differently, and everything's starting to basically piss you off, and it's starting to, everything's just starting to nag you. And I find that then affects me with just completing each task of the day, because I just get so fed up because I'm trying to complete so many different things, and your mind just can't work like that when you're annoyed and depressed. So my pro tip for that, and this is a really, really big one when it comes to that, when you're struggling to just get into work when you're not in the greatest of moods, is break down your tasks to even smaller tasks. So when you're in normal happiness, you can obviously have your tasks maybe just emails, social media, whereas now I want to break it down, and like breakfast, now I want to break it down even more to help you, because when you're annoyed and you're depressed, you find it much harder to think on your feet. I find anyway. So you want to break them down again. So as much as this, so breakfast is make a coffee, make your cereal, take the dog out, go for a run, and just break it down into smaller tasks, write them down and literally tick them off. So go make coffee, go do this, clean up your desk, like just make the task even into smaller tasks, and then suddenly you'll find you've completed like 5 or 10 tasks, and it's a huge reward booster. You'd be surprised how much of it boosts you, but it is a huge reward boost and really does help you just get on, and it makes you feel like you can do it and that you can just switch yourself on and go ahead and finish off the rest of the tasks. So that's a really important one if you're struggling to get into work when you're obviously not in the greatest of places, and obviously that's the hardest reality when it comes to the truth of entrepreneurial depression, is that starting up a business finishes and lands on you. So even when you're ill, depressed, injured, wherever it is, if you don't work, the business doesn't work and you don't make any money. So that's the truth of it. So, and you have to accept that from the get-go, and that's the non-sexy life of entrepreneurship. But at the end of the day, being an entrepreneur, you'll learn to get around. You'll find little methods like I've shown you all mine, and I believe, I'm confident some of them, if not all of them, will work for you. And I hope they do, and I hope they are of value to you as well. So my takeaway for this, I know this has gone on unbelievably long, and I didn't mean for it to go on long. When I was writing it up, I knew it was going to kind of be long because there was just so much to say. but I just didn't want to rush it because I want to cover everything as I feel it's really important. So so there we go. Maybe I'll break it down into other videos to give you sort of shorter analysis of the video, just to make it a little easier to consume, but I'll look into that. So the takeaway of this video is basically, one, to just open your eyes to the truth of it, the non-sexy life is entrepreneurship, and two, to open your eyes to how to deal with it, that you're not alone and that there are ways to deal with it. So obviously my number one tip for me is fitness, so I believe that'll work for you. Preferably outside. If not, that's fine. Just try to have a 10-minute walk outside. It really does help. There's fresh air. It's just wonderful. So fitness. I would say having a motivational morning routine. So having a really strong motivational morning routine. You'll know mine is fitness, meditation, and positive affirmation. So I'll go for a run, come back. I'll do then positive affirmation in the shower, and then after the shower I'll meditate and then work. So I find that works for me. Find something that works for you. That's my method, and I find it really is helpful for getting your mind right. Obviously, the completing small tasks, that's really a killer tip for when you just so fed up and can't be asked, and you just don't know where to start with work because you're just not in the greatest mood. It just put your normal tasks into even smaller tasks. That's a really helpful one. And I guess talking to someone, I mean, people always say talk to, I've not really mentioned that all in my video, and the reason I haven't mentioned it is not that it's not right, it's just personally it doesn't work for me as much. I'm not saying it's not right to do it, or that it won't work for you, but I usually just get more annoyed when I speak to people. It doesn't usually help me, but where I will tell you it will help is speaking to someone who honestly understands what you're going through. So yes, your mum's always going to say she's there and she's ready to help you in that, but a mum's shoulder only helps so much, because at the end of the day they won't yes, they've been through a lot, but they don't necessarily understand exactly what you're going through because they haven't been through a startup, or they may not have been through a startup. So I would connect with other entrepreneurs and people you trust who you can communicate to, because they will know exactly what you're talking about. If any entrepreneur who's been in business for a while, they'll know exactly what you're talking about, and they will definitely be there to help you. So that's why I say, if you're going to talk to someone, I would say talk to someone who actually understands, who's been through it, who's been in the trenches. I find that, and my door's always open. That's like a teacher says that, don't I? But anyway, it is. So obviously, if you are struggling with this, do feel comfortable to contact me, whether it's comment below, or if you feel more comfortable, you can DM or email me, whatever you feel comfortable with. At the end of the day, that's a huge point of me starting this channel, is to bring a community and make it as engaged as possible so people can gain value from these videos. So I know that was an unbelievably long video, and I apologize for it, but again, it's a serious video, so I didn't want to rush it, and I may try and in the future like condense this video into maybe a few different videos, just so you can consume it a lot easier, because I know it's gone to like the half-hour mark or something. But I hope you gain value from it. I hope it opened your eyes to the truth of entrepreneurial depression, and how you can get through it is the most important thing. At the end of the day, it's a brutal truth that you probably will go for it starting up a business, but you need to just understand what your methods are and tools to get through it. And I hope mine are useful for you, as they really do work for me, and they are my best ones. So take away what you will. Hope you gain value from it. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel where you are now. It's at Scott Mears. Follow my Facebook at Scott Mears Entrepreneur, and my Twitter at Scott Mears _. I don't know why I forgot that. At Scott Mears _. As always, it's been a pleasure, guys. This was Day to Day Scott. Go out there, the best way to predict future is create. Go out there and create your future, and be happy. I'm happy. Just another disclaimer, I am very happy. I just wanted to lay this down. I meant to do it. Alright, I'm going to stop rambling. Okay. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Bye, guys. Bye.